watching this evolving trend. Vybes Kartel actually had to say, dating a white woman, condemning black women for wearing false nails, and epidemic and this whole weave epidemic, like an even bigger hypocrite. And on top, it's like, Jamaica, you don't look like, say you have money. Why would she look your way? For one, there's not a beauty standard for white men. After a certain hour, any man punish social media, right, where tremendously defend beauty standard, and it almost on weave with, they never want to try new things by looking like their ancestors, by and curly and nappy protective hairstyle thing, because how is that something new? I've seen the status symbol of white supremacy protecting the wrong thing, and of that I am also calling for a boycott. Not helping, so you shut up. Why? Hi everybody, Black Supremacy is Nattyisisyah. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this video, because today we're talking about what Vybes Kartel had to say about black women who wear weave. Because I have been watching this evolving trend that black women have been introducing into one of the reasons of why they wear weaves now. This response, this excuse, has not always been on the forefront of the top 10 reasons why black women wear weave, but we're going to talk about that. But first, I want to talk about what Vybes Kartel actually had to say. If you don't know who Vybes Kartel is like one of the greatest Jamaican reggae stars in Jamaica, and he's known all over the world, and basically got locked up for allegedly murdering one of his brethren, let's put it that way. And you know, they may not have really been brethren according to friendship statuses and so forth, but as far as being his fellow brethren, fellow man, he was. Now, this was really a big issue in Jamaica. A lot of people mad. A lot of people who support Vybes Kartel came out to support him, protest, and the whole 9 yards. But today, we come to find out that not only is Vybes Kartel dating a white woman, or a Turkish woman, a white woman by any other name, he had something to say about black women wearing weave. And black women are completely upset. And I want to talk about that because he posted her picture on Instagram, and that upset a lot of black women. And apparently, you know, they've been making posts back and forth, I love you, this and that. Ultimately, I guess the needle in the haystack was that he had made a post condemning black women for wearing false hair and trying to look like white women, wearing false hair, false nails, and putting it in and flashing it as though they're theirs, perming their hair. And so he, in return, got backlash because, again, for those who don't know, Vybes Kartel also bleached his skin at a very pivotal time in history, when it's like, by him doing that, it set off a whole chain reaction of a lot of other men bleaching their skin. And people in Jamaica have always been bleaching their skin. I grew up seeing, you know, people bleaching their skin, but this has been a thing that has definitely been going on in Jamaica and Africa, right? But when a man does it, by Vybes Kartel doing it, that was a very triggering moment, a pivotal moment. So a lot of men came out bleaching their skin as well. And there's even videos online that you can go and you can watch. You can see documentaries about their reasonings and their explanations for doing it. So people came back at Vybes Kartel, calling him out, calling him a hypocrite, showing his contradictions. But I want to say something about this whole bleaching skin epidemic and this whole weave epidemic, and what we see between Vybes Kartel and black women in general. Now, for one, there may be a little difference in why Vybes Kartel may be bleaching his skin compared to why black women are perming and wearing false hair. For one, let's look at some of the reasons why black women wear false hair. They say that they wear the false hair because they like different styles. They don't want to look the same every day. They want to try new things. They want to do new things. That has been the predominant theme and message up until this year, I'm noticing. But outside of that, we know that for many black women, underlyingly, black women are wearing these weaves and these perms because of the place where they go to work, because of the societal norm which we live in, to be accepted. Vybes Kartel basically accused these women of hating themselves, wanting to look like white women, not loving their natural hair, being envious of white women, and the list goes on. What strikes me is that a lot of times black women don't want to accept that. They don't want to accept that as being anywhere on the list as the reasons why they wear weave. But in this case, what is unique, is that Vybes Kartel not only is dating a white woman, which has been one strike against him from these black women. He has also bleached his skin, so he looks like an even bigger hypocrite. And on top of that, he's being accused for murder, right? But when we look at why a man like Vybes Kartel might date a white woman and why a man like Vybes Kartel might bleach his skin, it might be a very different bit between why black women wear false hair, false nails, and perm their hair. When a black man is trying to be with a black woman and he wants a pretty woman, he wants a woman who is, you know, taking care of herself and so forth, right? And a lot of times it takes money and privilege to do certain things. In America, things might be a little more balanced out. But say, for example, in Jamaica, black women with money, black women who may be able to do those things, they might be looked at as being able to improve the man's status. And I know that might sound predatorial, and I know that might sound thirsty, or whatever you want to call it, but if you're living in a very dire condition, not only are the women going to want to strive for possibly more comfortable situations, but the man is too, right? So he might be attracted to the women who are attracted to, you know, the lifestyle and so forth that they want to live. And a lot of times that lifestyle is lived by white women. So the black woman is emulating the white woman, and the man is attracted to a woman who appears to have a lot of self-esteem and who appears to be making it in life, in society, where, you know, things can possibly get better per se. But why a man might bleach his skin in Jamaica, he's not bleaching his skin necessarily to look like a white man. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if a black man wants a certain type of woman, she don't necessarily want him. While he's trying to possibly get a woman to upgrade his status, she's trying to get a man to possibly upgrade her status. While she may be putting in perms and weaves to look like the white woman to improve her status when she goes for a job so she can get the job, or when she's walking down the street so she can be treated a certain way. The black man, he could very well be overlooked, okay? In a place like Jamaica, you don't look like, say, you have money. You don't look like you drive a nice car, live in a nice house. Why would she look your way? By being able to bleach your skin, you will be able to look like the white man that she is attracted to, that she is aspiring to possibly get close to live the type of life that the white man can provide. So it could be a different reason why a black man is going to try to bleach his skin. He may not necessarily be trying to look like the white man, because for one, there is not a beauty standard for white men. So it's a little different to be trying to strive towards something. Black men can typically, in Jamaica, you're not going to have that problem necessarily of not getting a job because you're not white. But there is the colorism thing going on, or it has been going on in Jamaica, where usually the people from what they call uptown are the people with lighter skin. They would have the better education and so forth, so they would get the job. But it's a very complex issue, right? So it's not just clear cut to say, oh, you're a hypocrite, Vybes Kartel, because you bleach your skin. Well, if he's trying to, again, be with a certain woman, possibly improve his situation and circumstances, because mind you, they might be very harder than some of the worst type of lifestyles in any ghetto in America, times 10. Okay, you're talking about soldiers going to war with police and curfews so put out by the gangster them and the man them on the road, right? So it's a very different. If you want to get out that situation where your granny I get shot, or your grandma is getting shot, or your 2-month-old baby is getting shot, because sometimes they say after a certain hour any man on the street dead, right? That's how it goes sometimes. So if you might want to try to get out of that situation, and as beautiful as the sister them that live in the ghetto with you may be, as skillful, as resourceful as they are, they might not be able to appeal to a man's nature in a certain type of way. So a lot of times it's done for survival. Otherwise you might become the gunman on the street, killing off somebody else's baby, or fighting with another gang from another part of the country, town, or whatever. Or you might become just a square, like a lame, like just a coon, I guess equivalent would be what you would call in Jamaica, but you know, where you just go to work, but then you still at risk of being, you know, bullied and harassed by whoever. A lot of times it's done for survival, and this is not to say that when the black woman does it, it's not done for survival, but it's a different context, right? Because now we're talking about the age of social media, right? Where, first of all, why would a black woman in America be mad at Vybes Kartel for dating a white woman? They wouldn't necessarily be mad unless it's Jamaican women in America, you get me, who maybe are upset about it, who are even listening to his music to maybe hear him even make any remarks, or who are following his page. So I want to kind of put the context back into being in Jamaica just a little bit, because I know that based on what he said, got a lot of black American women upset and pissed, and you know, the whole black woman storm, Twitter storm, or whatever, or Instagram, whatever, would have went at him. But some of what he said didn't necessarily apply to a black American woman, but nonetheless, I'm sure a lot of his backlash came from black American women. But what I've noticed though is that black women seem to tremendously defend this false white beauty standard, and it almost makes me question if black women are either jealous or if they actually hate white women more than they would want to let off. Because if somebody calls you out for wearing false hair to look like somebody that you're not, to look like the white woman, why are you mad if the only reason you're doing it is because you like to do something new, you like to try new things? You get me? If I like to try new food and somebody tells me they don't like the new food that I tried, I'm not going to get vehemently mad and defensive and defend the new food that I ate, that I'm probably never going to eat again. You're probably never going to see me in this hairstyle, so forth, right? And I can honestly say that there has been a tremendous shift even in how women are wearing weave today. Like when I was younger, I don't remember ever seeing anybody with blonde extensions. I don't remember ever seeing anybody with blonde weave, like just straight blonde weave. Okay, the whole platinum blonde thing was even recent, maybe like around the Cisco time. But now you have a time where it seems like every other black woman has on a long blonde weave and the roots are not even black. There, before we used to maybe see women at least trying to blend it out. You're not even seeing that no more. But as these black women's hair keeps getting blonder and blonder and straighter, they seem to be adding to the list of excuses as to why they are wearing weaves and why these weaves just so happen to not look like their own natural hair, right? And what has recently been coming to the forefront now is that they are wearing these hairstyles, these weaves, these perms as protective styles, pushing the notion that they've got to wear this blonde hair to protect their natural hair underneath, that they've got to wear this weave to protect their natural hair underneath. Well, you could protect your natural hair by, putting in a more Afrocentric weave, or by trying to emulate your ancestors. Look in Africa, they have all type of different hairstyles. How come black women who wear weave never want to try to look different like their ancestors? They never want to try new things by looking like their ancestors, by looking like their African counterparts who are, creative, have these very creative and cultural hairstyles, some of them very lovely. Even when they put in false locks or faux locks, these faux locks, they gotta look like some white girl locks. They don't look kinky and curly and nappy. They look like something out of a Goldilocks fairy tale, and then they got the nerve to call them goddess locks. And this idea of wearing weave as a protective style, as being something that, we should all just accept and be like, oh yes, that sister's trying to grow her hair out. She's wearing that hair, that blonde weave as a protective hairstyle. This thing has only recently come to the forefront as more and more black women have been actually chopping their perms off, going natural, going without the weaves, going without the extensions and the false hair and the perm, right? Black women have basically just come to this knowledge of needing to protect your hair or put your hair into a protective style, but are trying to flip that on, you know, on the general public, though we're stupid and we don't really see what's going on. After you protect this hairstyle, this natural hair for how many years, you know, not really giving it a chance to breathe, wearing all this weave, you know, for months on end, right? What, after you protect it, what are you protecting? What do you do with it then? What do you do with it? You put it under some more weave? Unveil it for the black man that you hate? Or do you unveil it for, you know, when you look in the mirror and see this long natural hair that you can't stand and you want to chop it off all over again? Then put in some more weaves till it's, you know, even see-through or even looks gray, but like a white woman's gray hair. So you continue to stray from looking like who you are naturally or what you would naturally look like, or being creative with your own natural hair, or even creative with other Afrocentric or African hairstyles, as though, you know, your own hair is not an unlimited amount of potential of things that you could do with your own natural hair that grows out of your head. So we see exactly what's going on here. There's definitely a level of self-hatred going on, right? And you could miss me with this protective hairstyle thing, because by now so many people have been, you know, going with this protective hairstyle thing, that we should be seeing some black women flashing natural hair or waving it, or it just standing tall on their head, left, right, and center. The truth is, most women do want to look like the white woman. Most black women do want to look like a white woman. And why would a man, you know, who has been conditioned to continuously look at black women with blonde hair, and the hair is getting straighter and straighter, and now they add contouring to it? Are you contouring your face too because you got to go to work? Are they requiring you to wear a straight nose and to imitate, you know, looking like a European? Or is that why we're contouring here? Is that why women are contouring their features to look more white? So we can stop with the games. Why would a black man want to be with a black woman who is looking like a white woman when he can just go and get him the real thing? You are conditioning him for this. And you're conditioning your sons to want a white woman. And if you want to say that people that say these things are racist, then you basically are avoiding your initial argument that, you know, you're wearing this for work and to fit into society and so forth. So, but what's really interesting though, and what these black women are basically exposing, is that in their argument that, you know, they're wearing these hairs and so forth as a protective style to protect their natural hair, I find it very interesting that they see the need to protect their natural hair, right? But their race, their culture, the future of the black race, black fertility and so forth, they don't necessarily see the need to protect that. They will throw that all away. You will hear a lot of them talking about divesting from the black community, and you will hear a lot of them, you know, speaking against pro-black people, even speaking against pro-black women and pro-black men and so forth, right? And going in very hard, dedicated YouTube pages just for, you know, attacking and slandering women who are, and men obviously, who love their people, want to see their people strong, you know, coming up from this myth of white supremacy. But these same black women who claim that they are protecting their natural hair see no necessary reason why they should protect their natural race, identity, culture, our image. Our image is very, very important. But you don't protect it. You don't protect our nationality, our creed, culture, race, identity, image. You don't protect it by putting on something artificial, something fake. If you want to grow out your natural hair, you do your research and you figure out, you know, how hair basically grows and what it needs, what kind of nourishment and so forth that it needs. And you do that. You apply that. You take those necessary steps. But don't necessarily think that this step of putting something fake over it and wearing that as your banner, that's going to help. Because if you look at it when it comes to the nails, when you put fake nails over your real nails, it may help them to grow a little bit, but once you remove those nails, it's a very ugly sight underneath. So even sometimes when you're putting in these weaves and so forth, you are stopping your hair from receiving the necessary oxygen and nutrients that it needs. These weaves could be stripping your hair, and you're not drawing the connection to that. So you have to continue to wear weave. And it's like a lot of things in the matrix and white supremacy. The more you need it, the more you have to need it. The more you wear deodorant, the more you have to wear deodorant. The more you use soap, the more you have to use soap. The more you use Crest and those name brand toothpaste and so forth, the more you have to use those pastes. So it's the same thing with weave. The more you wear this weave, the more you have to wear this weave. You become attached to this weave. That weave now becomes a part of you. And then you start needing and wanting to defend it tooth and nail, because otherwise there's no need to bash Vybes Kartel because you just feel like trying something new. And how are you all trying something new, but you all look the same? You all got the same blonde weaving. How is that something new? I've seen it before. We've all seen it before. So how is it something new? What most of you haven't tried is to wear your natural hair and be completely proud about that. To walk in that glory, to walk in that pride, to draw power from your natural hair, to, develop a relationship with who you really are. And if your work or your place of education or whatever the case may be, if that is one of the reasons or excuses why you claim you need to wear this weave and this false hair and perm your hair and all that, you need to leave that place of employment. And instead of evolving your weave from something that's getting blonder and blonder and straighter, it's time to evolve your consciousness system. That blonde weave that you're wearing on your head, that straight permed hair that you are rocking, it is a status symbol, and it is a status symbol of white supremacy. And you are protecting the wrong thing. You're protecting the wrong thing, and it's not your hair. You're not protecting your hair. You're protecting white supremacy with these hairstyles. And so just like I called for a boycott of the faux locks and people in the faux locks community trying to push this faux locks, Goldilocks, right? Just like I called for a boycott of that, I am also calling for a boycott of these sisters talking about they are wearing weave as protective styles. That is a bold-faced lie. A lot of you hate yourself. You hate your hair. You don't want to try anything new that looks black. You don't want to try anything new that represents black culture, black love, right? And protecting the black image. You're not protecting the black image by rocking these hairstyles. You're protecting white supremacy, and I'm calling for a definite boycott of that. So spread the message, spread the word. This is Nattyisisyah. Peace. And I just want to say that as long as these black women are going to continue to wear this blonde hair, I want to say that black men basically should be free to continue to be with the white woman, because as long as the black woman wants to continue to project this image onto black men and onto their sons that, that's what's required to make it in life, then black men might need to have to, go with these other white women and make some black babies out of them. Might need to start over that way, because you can't get mad at the black man for basically wanting what he's looking up to all day. Half of these black women that wear this blonde weave and do all this perm and all that don't want a black man anyway. They don't want a black man to be like, yo sis, you probably shouldn't wear that, it's causing fibroids and so forth. I heard about this on, Instagram or Facebook. She don't want to hear nothing from you. All she knows is that she makes her money and she could do what she wants with her money. She could buy her weave and perm her hair. So, and if you're not helping, so you shut up. Why would he want to be with a black woman like that? Why would he? When he could be with a white woman, he don't got to buy her hair. He don't got to pay for her nails. He don't got to pay for her to contour her face to look like a white woman. He don't got to deal with the attitude and all that comes from this black woman that feels that she basically can afford these things, that she can afford to look the way and afford to act however she wants to. Right? Why wouldn't he just go with somebody who it comes naturally to? And if he gotta bleach his skin just for you to look his way, if he has any sense, he'll just stop that. He'll stop that right now. So this is Nattyisisyah. Vybes Kartel, what he had to say, it wasn't necessarily an attack on the black woman in America. I definitely hope that black women, period, get the point, right? That this whole argument about it being a protective hairstyle, you're protecting the wrong thing. You need to protect black supremacy and boycott this faux locks, weave wearing, so-called protective style hypocrisy.